This is Sean from the American Soccer Coach. Today I'm going to be talking about the incredible story of Chris Richards. Chris Richards is the center back for Bayern Munich's U-19 team as well as the US U-20 national team. Chris Richards has been one of the most impressive players for the United States in this tournament so far. Defensively, he reads the play very well. He's good building out at the back. He's a very intelligent defender. And the thing that I think is most impressive about Chris Richards is his story to get to this point. So Chris Richards is 19 years old right now. But when Chris Richards was 16, he grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, not really known as a soccer hotbed. And he was scouted from the Alabama ODP team to go on a tryout with Houston Texans, which is an academy based in Houston, Texas. And he drove 10 hours away and tried out with an academy team in Houston. He made the team. And that year, the Houston Texans ended up winning a Development Academy national title. Now, a year later, he got picked up by FC Dallas. And then the year after that, he got picked up by Bayern Munich. And so at the age of 16, he went from the Alabama ODP team. And then eventually, he won a Development Academy title. He went to FC Dallas. And then he got signed by Bayern Munich. So from 16 to 19, he went from Alabama ODP to being signed by Bayern Munich for over $1 million. I think that's an incredible story. And I think that the reason that I really like Chris Richards, I like his game, but he's had to mature and he's had to grow up a lot more than a lot of these U.S. players. Because, to go on a tryout for a team that was 10 hours away, to leave everything behind, to leave everything behind to go to a development academy that wasn't even an MLS affiliate of any sorts, succeed there, win a national title, get noticed by FC Dallas, and then eventually move to FC Dallas, and then from there, use your recognition from FC Dallas and also the youth national team to eventually go to Bayern Munich, and now to use that as a platform to have a really good U-20 World Cup. It's really an incredible story. And I think there's not a lot of people that would make that sacrifice as such a young kid. And, so when you mix the sacrifice that Chris Richards has along with the talent, I think that we're going to have a really good center back on our hands here for the future. Because, again, he does everything, fairly well. And even in the France game where the U.S. had, arguably their best result ever at youth level, he looked really good. He looked really good. And it was interesting seeing Chris Richards on the same field as guys like Zagadou from Dortmund and Ndika and Kamara. The three, Ndika was playing left back, but the three center backs for France that are all very good players. And they brought the ball out well. They're very athletic. They're good 1v1 defenders. They read the play well. They're just very good defenders. And so it was interesting to watch Chris Richards compared to those players. Because I'm not comparing him, and I'm not saying that he's at the same level as those guys. I don't think he is. However, there was parts of his game where I was really impressed. And again, he's playing against an elite opposition there against France. So I think when you mix the fact that Chris Richards is competing in Europe and he's competing for a spot every single week at Bayern Munich's academy, he's had a very good U-20 World Cup, and then you just think about what he's what he's done to get to this point, from going from Alabama ODP at 16 to Bayern Munich at 19 and being one of the leaders of this U.S. U-20 World Cup team. It's special. And so I'm really excited to see what Chris Richards is going to do in the future. I think his story is something that, not only should fans hear, but I think it's something that players should hear. I think it's something that parents should hear, because none of this happens without an immense amount of sacrifice. Thank you guys for tuning in.